And she said, my friend had stood up. Obviously, the legs had stopped working. She done a forward roll, sat up, and literally had hold of the bottle of tequila under her arm and never spilled a drop.
Welcome to the Sacred Living Podcast. I'm your host, Leonie Dutoy, an expert in awareness and intuition. As a transformational coach, spiritual teacher, and healer, my mission is to help 1 million people tap into their own inner power. Join me on the sacred journey as we explore the tools and modalities that guide us through awakening, healing, and growth. In each episode, we'll delve into the spiritual foundations, inner work, and the path to awakening abundance. Discover how your spirit senses, awareness, and intuition can help you cut through the confusion of waking up, navigating the overwhelming amount of information out there, and bring clarity, ease, and purpose into your life. Let me bring you the tools, techniques, and guidance to support you on your own spiritual journey. Let's walk this beautiful and sacred path together. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to today's podcast. And this is going to be a little bit of a different podcast because I've got my beautiful friend Annmarie Lord with me, and it's going to be on video as well. So if you're listening and you want to watch, go over to YouTube and you can find the video there. If you are on YouTube and you want to just listen, head over to Spotify and you can find it there and just have a listen. So today I am super excited to introduce a close friend and a very, very, very special guest, Annmarie Lord. I'm going to read this so I can get this really, really good, right? Annmarie is an intuitive transformational coach and mentor who has touched the lives of many with her incredible work. She's an author, medium, and a facilitator of life-changing seminars and workshops. So in 2020, Annmarie wrote The Grateful 3 Approach to Life, and I've got it here. It's an amazing book. It's a fantastic book that breaks down the simple yet powerful strategies for daily living. This book has been widely praised and has deeply resonated with readers looking for personal growth and empowerment. Annmarie's talents don't stop at writing. She also connects individuals with their departed loved ones through her work as a medium, bringing comfort and healing to those navigating the grief journey. She's even hosted her own radio show, The Spiritual Life with Annmarie Lord, where she shared her wisdom with the global audience, and she's currently got her podcast, Motivational Medium, so go find her on Spotify. But that's not all. So Annmarie also leads transformative workshops and private consultations around the world, helping people discover their inherent abilities and achieve remarkable personal growth. She is a harmonious blend of hippie, spiritualist, and realist, dedicated to family, friends, and the profound influence of the mind. Help me to welcome Annmarie Lord. Welcome, beautiful soul.
Thank you. Wow, that was a cool introduction.
It's beautiful. And you know what? You've done so much more than what that little piece is, because we've known each other for, like, here we go again, 9 years, I think it is, something like that. So we've been on this journey for a long time. But yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Leonie. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Now, we are kind of just diving into this because we usually, when we get together, we have this way of having conversations that are just really beautiful and powerful. And I want to start with your book a little bit and just a little bit about your journey, but then I'm going to just kind of let it up to the universe and go, well, just take us wherever you want us to go with this conversation, because it's just one of those days and we have the time. So I would like to share this beautiful journey with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm up for that. Let's see where we go.
Awesome. So, Annmarie, tell us a little bit about where and how your book came about, because it is very quirky. It's you, right? It's this hippie, it's fun, bubbly. It is a laugh, guys. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend go grab it. It's available on Amazon and on Audible, and probably a few other places, but those two, definitely find it. But please just go ahead and just share a little bit about you and your book and how it came about.
Okay. Can I just say as well, it's also on Spotify. So if you're a paid subscription for Spotify, you'll be able to download my book there as well. So yeah, just that.
That's news to me. So perfect. Love it. Thank you for sharing.
Now, the journey of the book, wow. I always wanted to write a book, but if you've read the book, you'll know that I'm dyslexic, and but I've never let that stop me. I went on to do nursing, I went to university, I've never let the dyslexia stop me. But I wanted to write a book, not just about being a medium, the journey of spirituality, as you know, Leonie, isn't just one facet. We show up as a person who has traveled 58 years in this life, So we bring everything to the table. Mediumship might be a part of who I am, and intuition might be a part of who I am, but it's so much more. And when I do my readings for people and show up at the events, I bring Annmarie Lord, 100%. Let's see what's happening. And I thought to myself, the stuff I've learned on this journey, because called life, a lot of the time, if you've read the book, you'll see I've had some quite, as you say, funny moments, but there's been a lot of heartache and a lot of ups and downs. And I wanted to share with everybody, really, these tools and strategies that I had found that actually got me through it. And I was so excited about this. I was like, oh my God, if I can get through these anxieties, or if I can stop worrying about what people think, or, putting all my power to the external. And genuinely, I don't worry about that stuff anymore. But I wanted other people to know that. It was like, there's a chapter in the book, and it's called I don't want to swear on your podcast. It's called the effort buckets, the fucking buckets.
Yeah.
And that bit for me was huge, because I understood that I was giving my power to the external. So if you don't mind, I'll just explain that very quickly.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, because what we do as people, if you think that you're worrying about putting yourself out there on social media, or going for that new job, or starting that new business, but you're worrying about what other people will think and will say, then, my friends, you're actually giving your power to that other person. Now, this person might be someone that you don't even know. It might be someone that they actually don't like you, or you don't like them, because that actually happens. Even spiritual people, we get not liked, and, we have a few people that we think, nah, you're not joining me gang,
Yeah.
But when we give our power to them, that made me really sad, because what that meant, imagine if you want to start your own business, and the abundance of freedom, and even freedom with finances, if you like, or freedom with time. Imagine what that would do to your family and for your family. And if you allow this power to be given to someone who you don't know, or they don't know you, then you're actually letting them dictate whether or not you, or your family, or your friends have an amazing life.
Yeah.
And it was mind-blowing for me. And I was like, okay, I need to tell everybody about this. So the chapters that I wrote were all written on sort of that remit, if you like, on that level of things that I've done. Oh my gosh, this actually works. I need to share this with the world. And that's basically how I wrote the whole book. But I'd done it in a story teach tool method. And if I can explain that a little bit, the story was about my life. The story was about how I got out of these situations. The learnings are woven through the story.
Yeah.
And then the tools at the end are the teachings. So every single chapter is like that. Yeah.
And Yeah, I enjoyed reading your book and, you know, the stories, and you're an amazing storyteller. So one of the chapters that I wanted to go into is, hang on, so there should be another page there. I actually looked at, sorry, while I'm finding what I was looking for, I put the post-it note in the wrong one. I actually, you know, your bucket list, right? So I
Yeah.
was looking at, because I was going through the book and I was like, which one of these can I get Annmarie to talk about? And then I looked at the bucket list and I was like, nah, I was like, stop twerking tequila. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
let's talk about that. So maybe, you know, you're talking about the story and you're talking about the, you know, the message in there, and then the tools and stuff. You know, maybe we can talk about that a little bit. So I don't know if you want to, if you can
Yeah.
want to talk about that for us,
Yeah.
and that will give the listeners kind of an idea of how your book is structured and just one of your beautiful stories.
Yeah. The Stop Twerking Tequila, I studied NLP. And one of the things that I studied with NLP was I realized we have to stop the pattern of the mind. So
Yep.
what I used to do a lot was I used to do when I'd be thinking about something or going down the track of worry, I would say to myself, stop. Now that would break off, if you like, the synaptic connection within the brain.
Yep.
And then what I would do is I'd change my emotion. So I'd change my physiology first. So I'd move a part of the body, and I'll explain this and put it all together in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would change my emotion. So I would think of something funny that had happened in my life, and I would really totally become integrated within this memory, which would make me laugh out loud. And I thought, wow, I could actually teach this to people. So the Stop Twerking Tequila came about, and the name came about was obviously the stop. The twerk was the movement to your body, not that I was twerking. And tequila was also a funny story. Now, there was a lady that came to see me, and she was a school teacher. And she was talking to me about, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on and in her life. And I thought, right, I'm going to teach you the stop twerking tequila method. Or it wasn't known that then. It was just like a stop, move the body, and think of something funny. So when she was doing the stop, the move in the body, the physiology, and the memory, the emotion, which actually, by the way, breaks the synaptic connection within the brain. So when you go back to that worry, you can't actually have that strong connection.
Yeah.
You might find a connection around that, which makes the worry less powerful. Okay.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
Does that make sense? So, so when it comes to her funny story, she's got tears rolling down her face, and I thought, wow, she's fully congruent. She's like, she's got this, you know. And I said to her, "Can I ask what your funny story is?" Anyway, she's a school teacher, and it was end of term, and her and her friend was like, right, we've had enough of these kids for a whole year. And one of the students' mums had bought them for Christmas a bottle of tequila. Obviously, they didn't drink it on the ground, so they waited until they finished. But they got to each other's home, and well, it was one of the girls' homes, and they would decided to have these tequila. Now, I'm not a big drinker, but if anyone has ever had tequila, and I remember when I was 19, I had tequila, your mind sort of stays the same, but the legs stop working. So this is a big warning sign. Do not drink tequila. The mind stays the same, but when you get up to walk, the legs decide they've had enough. So, so she's crying, laughing. And she said to me, we drank this tequila. We were leaving our friend's house, and we goes down the path to get an Uber. And she said, my friend had stood up. Obviously, the legs had stopped working. She done a forward roll, sat up, and literally had hold of the bottle of tequila under her arm and never spilled a drop. So you could hear her laughing as she left my office. So the stop twerking tequila and the twerk bit, when my granddaughter Daisy, this story is also in the book. Daisy got hurt in an accident, and she couldn't walk properly. She had a Zimmer frame for a little while. And she's fine now. She's walking and she's running and jumping everywhere. But when she was on the little Zimmer frame, she was laughing. She said, Nanny, look, I can twerk. So we knew the movement was coming back. So that's why I honored it as well. And I call it Stop Twerking Tequila. So yeah. So for you guys out there, if you feel your thoughts are going to an area of worry and constantly going to worry, my friend, that robs you of your life now. And the worry that we have is usually for the future or the past. So if that worry comes into your mind, I want you to say out loud, as long as you're not in Coles, stop. Yeah, move a part of your body. You don't have to twerk. It just works if you can move a part of your body. And then think of something that is really, really funny that has happened in your past and become fully congruent within that time and that episode. And if you can't think of something funny, find a comedian that you like and watch
something.
Watch something that makes you laugh.
That story always gets me. Like, I love that story so much, and the message behind it as well. So for me in my life, and this is where awareness comes in, and this is actually where my awareness journey started. So it's pretty much the same story, but my awareness journey started with when I was in a really dark place and I was depressed. And I'm not going to go down that story. It is in another episode if you want to find out. But I was in a very bad place, and I had to come out of the depression. I had to become super aware, and I had to do that reframe, right? The stop. And what I would do is when I find myself, my mind going to places where I didn't want to go, I would physically stop myself, make a choice, and I would physically turn my body in the opposite direction. And I would go, I'm not going down that road anymore. I'm going the opposite way. So that then started the reframe. And that's literally where my awareness journey started. So when I teach my clients now within, the Sacred Living Academy, and we do Sacred Beginnings, the first thing that I teach them is awareness. When you come to me for one-on-one session, we're going to talk awareness, because if you don't have awareness, you're not going to know when to stop, twerk, and laugh, right? You're not going to know. So it's really important for people to understand that the more awareness you have, the easier it will be to actually identify those moments where you do need to stop and start breaking those neural pathways that have formed, right?
Definitely. If you can break these neural pathways, anyone can. It's not that. I think that was the most realization moment that I had was, wow, if I can do this, anybody can do it. And I went on the journey, about like me going to see Tony Robbins and going on all these courses and seminars, and it was a big self-awareness journey. And I would recommend that to anybody. You can do a lot of work yourself because it all comes down to yourself. But to have a guide or a mentor to help you on that journey is, I would say, is massively important.
It is. If you have not had a mentor or a coach in any way, shape, or form, and you are on the self-development journey, you will never, never, never look back. Once you've had a mentor, once you've had a coach, you realize the value, and you will just continue having them throughout every stage of your life. So it's invaluable.
Definitely.
Honestly, it is.
Yeah, definitely. The whole journey, and it's just to keep you accountable, really, to keep you going. But it's the knowledge, you've got a lot of knowledge, and you've got a lot of knowledge from your mentors and your guides and your peers and the books that you've read, and the same with myself, the same with anyone that does this work. We keep educating ourselves because you never stop learning.
No, you don't. Yeah.
And as you do that, then that gives you a bigger bag of tools, if you like, to help your clients on the journey, which is amazing.
It is. And it's also having that person sit on the outside and looking in without the blocks and the beliefs and the patterns, and they can recognize the things that you can't because you're in it.
That's
So
right.
it's like just having that person to look at it from a different perspective. And sometimes just having, when you actually have that conversation with your coach or mentor, just having that conversation with them
Yeah.
brings clarity in yourself. So there's so many ways that it can help you. But yeah, definitely it's invaluable. Like if you haven't had a mentor or coach, you definitely need to get one if you are on this journey of self-discovery.
You mentioned something there about not being able to see it for yourself. If you do read my book, and if you have read my book, I'm very simplistic and quick stuff, and one of the things that I say to my clients is, imagine if you're standing at a wall and your nose is touching the wall and you're trying to live your life like this. And all you can see is maybe a bit of a bigger hand shape in front of you. And that's all your vision is. So you can't really see what's going on around you. You can't see the opportunities that are coming in, or the opportunities that you can actually reach out for and go and achieve, because you're very, very close. So stepping away from that wall will give you a bigger vision. But a lot of us don't. We try to stay here and try to live our lives and create businesses and families and careers through here. But having someone to say to you, it's okay to step away from the wall and let's see what we can see, or I can actually see all this stuff around that will allow you to step back from the wall.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Makes like more visual.
That's a really powerful way of looking at it, Annmarie. And it's also the permission to stop the push, right? Because we can't, it's like pushing. There's this constant moving forward. I have to do this. I have to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to. But what it is it allows you, it gives you permission to stop. It gives you permission to step back, because a lot of people feel like they don't have the permission to step back.
Sorry, you can hear my dog. Sounds like he's Fred Astaire. He's tap dancing on the wooden floor. I'm so sorry if you can hear
No,
that.
I actually can't hear it. So you know what? Like I said to you earlier, don't worry about pup, because I've got cats here, and who knows, something could happen, but that's life. We human, and we've got, we've got life.
You.
So yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you for that. I was just
No,
conscious that we could hear him tap dancing. It's like Gene Kelly on the wooden floor.
It's beautiful. Yeah, so it is, like the permission to step back. So, but what I want to, where I want to go with this conversation next, because this is what your book is about, really, is gratitude. And I wanted to ask you, where did your journey with gratitude start? Like, how did you hear about gratitude, and how did you start implementing it? And then maybe just share with the audience, like the real value of gratitude.
I can't remember the specific time when I said, okay, I'm going to start doing gratitude. And that's the thing about gratitude. I think it sort of slowly seeps into your life. But the importance of it is huge, absolutely huge. So I think all of my journey, I've had things come in and out of my life with gratitude. But one of the main things that I always remember was, I talk about Tony Robbins, and because I think he's just such a great mentor, and he's got some really great experiences that he shares when you go to one of his seminars. So I like to read his books as well. But anyway, one of the things he said one time when I was at the first seminar I ever attended was, life happened for us, not to us. And straight away my back got up, and I was like, how has that happened for me? My mum passed away when she was 47. She was 43 when she got MS. And I had 5 brothers all younger than me. And this was a hard journey. And I was so, so I didn't allow myself the opportunity to try on that coat and just try it on and see, did anything there happen after that happened and life changed for you? So that's the thing. I changed it into maybe not life happened for me. That's the short version of it. But if I tried on the coat of, okay, that happened, let's see where my life went after that, then I had to actually agree. Because after my mum passed, I was so angry. I was angry at the world. I was angry, why, and I would push people away and I'd go into my own little space. But then I started seeing life a little bit different. Instead of looking at, I only had 47 years of her life and 27 years of my life with her. I started looking at my younger brother, who was only 9. And he only had 9 years. So how grateful was I that I got more time?
Yeah.
And then I was grateful to have that journey with her. Me and my mum was so close, and I got to look after her. I got to nurse her through her illness because she had multiple sclerosis and she also had lung cancer. And I got to actually take care of her. That was an absolute privilege, but I learned so much by doing this. I then went on to think, okay, I'm going to go and do my nursing. So this was all starting to see things, and I had never looked at it this way. I looked at it as like this happened to me, Then I went on to do my nursing, which I graduated, qualified. I had the power and the strength to do this because when my mum was sick, I was run ragged. I had a job in the hospital as a carer. They called it auxiliary nurses in the UK. I looked after my brothers. I looked after me 2 babies. I looked after my mum, whose mobility was no good. You know what I mean? So when she passed, I realized, wow, for all the time you thought you've never had the strength to do anything, you've actually got a lot of strength. And that has carried me a lot through my life to where I am today. So I went off and I'd done my studies, which, remember, I couldn't read and write. So I went off and learned how to read and write. I was in my 20s. I got to university, passed all my GCSE exams, got to university. And all along the journey, I was grateful for this. And then I actually went into palliative care, which I was so grateful for. So did life happen for me or to me? That's your decision which way you want to look at it. But for me, the outcome didn't mean I missed my mum every day. Yeah. But did I have an outcome that changed not only my life and my children's lives? Yeah. Because then we went on, I'd done my nursing. Through my nursing, I got into Australia. I brought my family to Australia. I've got an amazing career and job that I do now that is through working with people in grief, because I worked with people in grief for many years through the palliative care. So life gave me a different turning, but I took it and I was grateful, and I am forever grateful. And when I see what I'm grateful for, it brings in more abundance into my life. If we focus on what we have rather than what we don't have, then life changes. So every morning I give gratitude, every morning. It helps you see differently. I could talk about gratitude for hours, how it changes the pathways within the brain, how it makes the RAS system see more, being a nurse, I'm also sciencey based. So I have a bit of both, but I could talk about gratitude for ages. And by just doing, if you got my book and you read chapter 1 and you put it down and you never read any more, it would be a shame. No, I'm only kidding. You would learn so much just about gratitude, just from chapter 1 and the introduction, that could change your life. And that's why I wrote it.
Yeah, beautiful. So there's a few avenues I can go down there. So, but what I want to do is I want to just quickly go back, because this one's really stuck with me. And it's something that we actually mentioned in the our live Q&A call within Sacred Beginnings last night with the students. And it was, sometimes we have to just stop and look back and see how strong we actually are, because there's this constant push and we don't allow ourselves to stop and look back. And if we just take the time and stop and look back, we'll realize that how far we've come. We'll realize how strong we are, and it will give us the courage and the strength to move on and do the next thing.
Definitely. And you know, there's something there that I want to talk about. When we look back and we look at how strong we are, what I want you to remember is life isn't a one-way path. You know, we don't stay in the middle. We go to the happy side, and we go to the sad side. And this is the journey of the life really that we lead until we get to the end of our life. Yeah. And getting to the end of our life, do you want to experience everything? I'm sure that God, if you want, when we come to carnate into this universe, he says, would you like to experience everything? And we agree to that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we get on this journey, and I know that life happens all along the journey.
Yeah.
So the book for me and the teachings that I learned, I use them all the time because life does happen. Like a few weeks ago, my son graduated in university, he got his psychology degree, and within a week, so we all had a big celebration on that day. And then within a week, he was off to Canada to live for 2 years. Now, people that know me, I know I've got 3 children. He's my youngest. He still lives with us. Me and him we talk all the time. You know, we put each other's life to rights. And because he left, now we're what we call empty nesters. And I was thinking, oh my God, how are we going to cope being empty nesters? And how am I going to cope with him not being there? And the one thing I thought to myself is, okay, I'm feeling really sad here because I'm missing him so much.
Yeah.
What are your go-tos? I get my journal out. I go back to my gratitude. I go back to me walking. So I say to everyone and anyone that will listen, this isn't just pick up the book and you will walk away from it. You won't. You will pick up the book, and what you learn can never be forgotten. And when life happens, go to your little bag of go-to tools, because within a week, I am saying, do you know what? How absolutely grateful am I that he got to go to university? How grateful am I that he gets to fly to Canada and live his best life? How grateful am I that I've got a son? How grateful am I that I've got an empty nest? How grateful am I? Me and my husband are like 2 teenagers. You know, it's all quite exciting, but it's all about how you look at it.
It is. Yeah.
You know, and if you can change how you look at things, then things will change. And don't get me wrong, I'm a realist. I'm not an unrealist. I'm a nurse. I spent 30 years as nursing. I know life can be really, really hard.
Yeah.
However, if we can have some tools that will give us some kind of peace, then isn't that where maybe looking at and getting your little bag of tools together, so that when the shit does hit the fan, you've got a strategy and a technique that can at least help you put your head above water again.
That's it.
And then life can start happening again.
Yeah, for sure. So it is about, so God, that thought's gone out of my head. Give it back to me. Don't you love it when that happens? Are we meant to go somewhere else with this conversation? So
I'm menopausal and Hashimoto, so I'm lucky I'm even got thoughts today.
Yeah. I've just gone in, I'm like literally just gone into menopause. So I'm just like brain fog, and you can see like I've got the glow.
Yeah.
So what was it? Give it back to me, because I really wanted to go down that track. the word choice, like, and I know that the word choice came up in our podcast interview as well, but it's about the tools. It is about
The choice.
the choice. It's about it's gone out of my head.
That's okay.
Right, so
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you want me to talk about choice, there's a chapter in the book that I talk about in choice. And when we say I can't, where I talk about my nan, and my nan used to say, because as I say, I can't spell. Well, I still can't spell. My grandkids talk to me, but who needs to spell these days? The spell check everywhere, yeah.
True.
So my nan, because of this word, it was called because, and I was doing a spell thing, in school, and I said to her, Nan, I can't spell because, and she said, there's no such word as can't, and I was, there is. So I goes off to school, and all day I was thinking about this. Of course, there's a word called can't. It's written down, and I was only about 9 or 10. Anyway, comes home from school, and I was really proud of myself, and I said to her, I can't get through a solid brick wall. And without missing a heartbeat, she just turned around and she looked at me and she went, if I gave you a hammer, you can. And I was thinking, there's nothing this woman doesn't know, It was like mind blowing. But that gave me the vision when I was writing the book to allow choice. We choose, do I choose to pick the hammer up, or do I choose to stand there behind that wall and it looks too big?
Yeah.
Do I choose to be happy? Well, then if you choosing to be happy, then you've got to go and do courses. You've got to go and do things that make you happy. You've got to get out of that bed and walk. There's many times on my life's journey when I've just pulled the covers over my head and not doing today. And then that little voice in my head says, get out this bed. It works.
Yeah.
And even if it's walking around the block when I haven't had a wash and brush my teeth, and I come back home and I go to get back in the bed, and I think, nah, I'm not getting on the bed again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's that choice.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Get stuck. Honestly, even if it's putting your hand on your heart. When I first started doing gratitude, I didn't even have nothing to be grateful for, I thought. And I remember putting my hands on my chest and breathing. And I went, oh, I've got a breath. That'll do. And that's how I started. So my friend, if you're listening to this podcast and your first step is putting your hands on your chest, you've got a breath.
Yeah.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
And I put my hands on my boobs, and I've got big boobs. And I put my hands on my boobs.
Well supported.
Yeah. Because there was a time a few years ago when I had to have surgery for a lump being removed, and it was a scary time. I still acted everything I knew to get me through that. So when I look and I see these big boobs, and people sometimes say, would you get a boob reduction? I go, why?
Yeah.
Why keep them? They're great. Because one time I thought one of them wasn't going to be there. So look at what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
It starts with you. It starts at the beginning, and it starts with breath.
Yeah, it does. So as you were talking, it came back to me. So thank you for that.
Good.
And it is, so when we talk about choice and you're making those choices in the moment, we're not saying don't experience or don't acknowledge what's happening in your life.
Massive.
We actually had this conversation last night as well. And it is feel the emotion of where you are at and move on. And that choice is the moving on. The choice is the gratitude. The gratitude will move you on from that emotion, but you have to feel it. If I can use the example, and this might be a very simplistic example, but it will give you an idea of what we're talking about is, let's say you start getting a cold and you wake up in the morning and you feel really bad, okay? We're not asking you to be all chirpy and try and, there's nothing wrong with me, and you don't seek help if you need help. No, what we're saying is feel it, feel miserable, but get out of bed. If you have to take a Panadol or something for it, then do it to support yourself. But don't go and tell every second person that you have a cold. don't take it on. Don't stay in that energy. Use gratitude, for instance, and go, I'm grateful that my body has an immune system that is busy healing me and is getting rid of the bugs, right? So it's then not staying in the state that you were in, whether it is just a cold, whether it is you had a fight with your husband, or whether it is you've lost a loved one. Feel it, because we're humans. You have to feel it. That's part of the experience, but don't stay there. Use the gratitude. So choose to move out of that frequency into a different vibration. And the more you make those choices in awareness, the more you do those, the easier it will become and the faster you'll go through those processes.
Absolutely. I mean, in the book, I talk a lot about that. It's okay to feel, because people say to me all the time, are you always positive or you're always happy? I say, no. You know, sometimes, like as you say with the cold, if you stay in that vibration of telling everybody, oh, yeah, I feel like rubbish, I've got a cold, then you're going to reinforce that energy and that feeling. But it's, as you say, it's okay to feel that, but it's not okay to stay there. And you said there a really good, valid point. Staying there and acknowledging it and saying, yeah, do you know what? I do feel down today, or I do feel not good today, but I've actually got these tools, or I've read this book, or I've got these strategies that just might make me feel a little bit better. Now, the more you do this, you've just said this, so this is just reinforcing what you've just said. The more you do this, then when life does throw curveballs at you, you open your bag of tools, you get there quicker. It might take you a week to get over something. It might take you a month, but in anybody else's life, it could have took them 6 months. It could have took a year.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the difference, because we're realists. Life, this isn't about, okay, let's all walk around and be happy and smile and we all love each other. We do. However, life happens. And if you can smile until you put that feeling behind it, then that's telling your mind or your connections that I'm staying here with this smile on my face until I feel it. Yeah. There's a difference from making a step forward to do something about it.
Yeah, that's the rewiring, right? And it's like, that bag of the tools that we have. If you, let's say you buy a new tool and you have it in your bag, but you don't ever use it. When you need to use it, you're not going to know how to use it. So when we say you've got a bag of tools, you need to make sure that the more you use it, you've got to know how to use them. Don't just drag tools with you that you don't actually know how to apply in your life, right? So the more you apply these tools, the more you use them, the more proficient you're going to be in. And that's where the difference in, like when you were talking about the time frame, that's where the difference comes into whether it takes you 6 months to a year to get over it. And the more you use those tools, the shorter that the processing time becomes, to a point where, and I'm sure you've had this before, and I know that some of my clients have had this before as well, where you almost have an out-of-body experience, observing yourself in that moment, realizing the outcome, the aha, the awareness, the solution comes in that moment. So there's no processing time because it happens in real time, but only because you've done it so many times. And it is a constant muscle, a constant thing that you use in your life. So yeah, it's really powerful.
When people talk about I'm a worry wart, or I constantly worry, how can I stop that worry?
Yeah.
And if you think about, you naturally go to that state when something happens, because I was a worry wart. I used to worry about everything, especially when mum died. I started getting panic attacks, and I had really bad phobias. At one stage, I couldn't actually walk outside the front door. I was fearful of the outside. And I remember, people talking to me about, I'm a worry wart, or I constantly go to that zone of worry. Imagine creating a new pathway within the brain. That's not a worry, where you just simply and quickly, as quick as you go to worry, you would go to gratitude. You would see a resolution. You would see a benefit. Isn't that worth putting the effort in
Yeah,
to do that? Because you've put
absolutely.
so much effort into the worry and it's serving you no purpose.
No, it's not. So just to like to give people a picture of like just like a visual of what we're talking about, the whole reframing and rewiring is, it's like if you can imagine yourself walking through a jungle for the first time. It is going to be very dense, and there's going to be rocks and sticks and snakes and whatever else, and it's going to take you a long time to get from here, from A to B. And then the next day you go back and you chop a little bit more and you walk that same path, and it's going to become easier. And the more you walk that path, the easier it becomes. And eventually it's going to be a no-brainer. You're not even going to be thinking about the path, right? That's what reframing your mind looks like. So when you first start doing it, it is really hard because you've got to be really conscious and be really aware to make those decisions, to go, no, I'm doing it this way, choosing the right way. And the more you do it, and then one day you're going to just look back and just go, I didn't even think about that. It's just happening. That's when you know that you've fully rewired your brain for that circumstance and for that thing. And it just becomes an easy thing. So you are going to struggle in the beginning. It's going to be hard, but you push through, you make those choices, and eventually it's going to be a breeze.
It's like you've read my book, and I talk about exactly the same as that. I use the analogy of being in a car, and you're driving the car across a field, and the field is really high with grass. And as you're trying to drive the car through that grass, it does feel a bit, not normal. So this is feeling a bit uncomfortable, and this is feeling a bit not normal. But as you keep going, it gets, like you said, it gets easier and easier. But the thing with the car in the grass is, the old pathway or the old path that used to have the two tireways in there that led you straight to worry. When you look back, you actually can't find that again because the grass has grown back over it. So you literally can't go back to being a worrywart unless you put all that effort in again and all that worry, which is something you will not do because you've took that time to drive the car and make this new pathway. And the beauty about this is that you can turn the car, make another pathway, for excitement, for joy, for gratitude, whatever it is. And whatever you leave behind, the grass will grow and you won't be able to find it again.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's true. The rewiring of the brain is such an amazing thing if you think about it and you look at the little bit of the science behind it. And it's fascinating. And how amazing is it that we actually have the ability to do that, and that we are not stuck in our ways, right? We can choose. We've got, even when you are in the hardest and toughest place that you can imagine yourself in, know that with little choices, you can still rewire and you can still use gratitude to get out of, right? So for us here in Australia, I can look at and I can say, I am truly grateful because for where I'm living and what my kids have, we are the equivalent to millionaires to people who are in Africa and in war-torn countries, right? So you can always find gratitude in the place that you are at. So using gratitude as a way of raising your vibration, and then using your circumstances as the fuel to get somewhere else, right? As the fuel to kind of inspire you to get somewhere else. But you always have your brain there. And we're not even talking about the spirit senses and guidance, awareness, intuition, and psychic gifts and your guides and things like this. just being grateful and having the option to change your mind and choose something different is like, it's revolutionary, it's life-changing, it's extraordinary.
Quickly before, because I know we've got loads of, like, we've run out of time. I don't want to use all your time.
We're good.
Quickly before I want to talk to you about how gratitude and how looking at things differently can change, your life. My husband said to me, it wasn't long ago, he said to me, God, Anne, this year's been a shit year. And I said, can you honestly say that? And he said, are you serious? He said, my mum died. He said, you ended up on the coronary care unit and, you were seriously ill in hospital and we're moving house and we're in a rental house. And I said, come on, Mitch. I said, we know how to do this. And what I said to him was, I was so sick when I came out of there. I was getting exhausted, even getting in the shower. I had a daughter who came to help me get a shower, which was great. I got out of the coronary care unit. I got well again. We had the money from my husband to fly back to the UK to actually see his mum and spend 10 days with her because she had dementia. She didn't know who he was. But before she passed, he spent 10 days every single day with his mum. We get to have the belief that we do believe in the spirit world. I'm a medium. I know that she's free. And I was so grateful for that. We get to live in a rented place while we're trying to build our own home, which we get to build our own home. How amazing is that? If you look at life indifferent, just break it down. If life seems so overwhelming and so full and a bit shocking, try and break it down. Allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to as Leonie said before, feel that sadness and feel that pain, but don't allow yourself to stay there. But the small things, because they're the steps that will take you out of this.
It is, for sure. And I love and I've heard you say this a few times, and I'm going to really bring some awareness to this because I feel like the listeners can really take something from this, right? You say a lot, I get to do this. I get to experience this. And it's a reframe on we have to, right? So instead of saying, I have to do this, or I have to, or, you're just changing it to I get to, already shifts the vibration from a state of, heaviness and I have to do this, and then the obligation to I get to do this shifts it to gratitude and just excitement, right? So yeah, I picked it up, I noticed, and I want to bring the awareness there for the audience, because I am all about awareness. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Because some people don't get to do it. Like people who've not been well, or some people don't have that choice. I worked in palliative care for a long time. And I used to always say, when I was teaching the carers and the nurses, I used to say to them, think about your bucket list. What is on your list? And people would start talking about New York, and they'd say, I want to go and visit Canada. I want to go and do this. I want to go and do that. And I'd say, okay, so say today you were given the diagnosis of a life-limiting illness. What is on your bucket list? And it was like, I want to see my grandchild's face, or I want to go and see the ocean, or I want to go and do this. And that for me changed things massively. My whole life journey changed my mindset. But we get to go and look at the ocean. We get to see our loved ones' faces. We get to breathe. We
get to wake up in the morning. We get to walk.
We get to wake up, and this, I'm not saying this lightly, and I know neither are you, but if you can try and find the I get to in any situation, just by doing that, my friend, your life will change.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
get to be here with you today.
Yeah.
And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's true. I do. And I'm grateful for it too. I love this so much. So let's see. So I wanted to take something from Chris and Laurie Harder, and I actually put it in another podcast as well. And they have this thing where they call it the power of nine. And what it is 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things you're excited about, and 3 things you're manifesting right now. So I think there's 9 points there. So this could go on a while, but let's end there. Let's go. 3 things that you are grateful for in this moment. If you can share that with us, and then
3 things I'm grateful for is my health is top of the shop. My family and my beautiful friends.
Beautiful. And 3 things you are excited about.
I'm so excited about, I've put together a live event on the 16th of November in Perth. I'm so excited about that. I am excited about my, oh gosh, I could go on about excitement for ages. I'm excited about my kids. My daughter's got a new venture. My son, my middle son, he's running his own business. I'm excited to see how that goes. My other son in Canada, I am excited to see him settle in Canada. I am excited about my new home that's getting built.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
excited about my beautiful husband, our gorgeous empty nesting time together, which is fabulous. I'm excited about this podcast. I'm excited about my new book.
That's awesome. I love that. All right.
We'll go on for ages.
Okay, so give us 3 things you're manifesting, because I think there was a few manifesting things in there, but tell me 3 things you're manifesting right now.
So one of the things that I'm manifesting is, well, it sort of overlaps a little bit. It's about the new book. I'm writing a new book called Motivational Medium, and I'm also that name might change to Mindfulness Medium. I'm not sure yet. And I'm working on new events, which is Mindfulness Medium ship events where I'll do mediumship, and then I do question and answers where people get to ask a question, and then I throw open the floor to question and answers as well. I'm manifesting not only these events in Perth, but I'm manifesting taking the book and the events. I want to go around Australia, which I'm manifesting, and then to my hometown in Liverpool, back in the UK, and then hopefully around the UK as well, and hopefully around the world. Would be amazing, wouldn't it?
That would be, yeah. So keep manifesting that, and I will definitely be putting energy for you behind that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I was going to ask you about the event, but you have just spoken on it, and you kind of just dropped a few hints on what the events are about.
Yeah.
So I am truly grateful for, having you on here and the conversation that we've had today, and I believe that there will be more in the future. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Tell the audience where they can reach you, and I will make sure that I drop all of your links and everything into the show notes for them so they can find you easily. But please tell them, what have you got coming up, local events, the date. So you were just mentioning in November, and then tell them where they can reach you.
Okay, so you can get me on my website, which is annmarielord.com. You can email me through the website. If you visit the website, we've got beautiful guided meditations that you can go for free for just popping up and saying hello. You can also email me at Annmarie at annmarielord.com. Make sure there's no E on the ends of Anne. I've got the mediumship event, as we say, coming up on the 16th of November in Menorah here in Perth, which I'm really excited about. And there'll be more events in 2025. I've also got the new book coming out hopefully the end of 2025. I've also got an online course called The Grateful 3 Approach to Mastering Your Mindset, which is on my website. So that's AnnmarieLord.com. Yeah, so come and say hello.
Beautiful. And you've also got the podcast, right?
Oh gosh, I forgot about my podcast. Yeah. And my podcast, which is Motivational Medium, and it's on all the major platforms. You can get it on Spotify, YouTube. I think it's still on Google, Amazon, all them places you can get everywhere.
That's perfect. Annmarie, thank you so much. I just love and appreciate you so much. And it's been 9 years and I look forward to the next 9 years.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited for your events and to when your new book comes out, and just keeping in touch. So thank you so much for taking the time and putting your beautiful energy into today's podcast. I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you so, so much. And I nearly forgot there. The book we've talked about through the whole of this podcast is called The Grateful 3 Approach to Life. And you can find that's out now, and that's on all major platforms and also on Audibles. Leonie, thank you so, so much for having me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thanks to your audience for taking the time to listen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From my heart to yours, I'm forever grateful.
Thank you so much. Guys, that is the end of today's podcast. And I'm sure that you are, like I am, in a state of gratitude right now for beautiful Annmarie. So I look forward to catching you all on the next podcast. So have a beautiful day and we'll chat soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Sacred Living Podcast. If you loved the show and found value from being here, please share it with the world so we can help others on their spiritual journey. Please rate the show. It will only take a few seconds, and it will help the Sacred Living Podcast reach more beautiful souls like yourself. Let's reach 1 million people with this message that they can live their best life if they use their spirit senses, awareness, and intuition. Making the world a better place starts with knowing ourselves and living guided by our soul. Stay in awareness, be open to your intuition, and live an abundant and blessed life. Until next time, beautiful soul. If you're new to the spiritual path or looking to deepen your spiritual practices, Sacred Beginnings is the perfect place to start. Launching again in January 25, this transformative 12-week program is designed to help you build strong foundations that will support your growth and awakening for years to come. In Sacred Beginnings, you'll embark on a journey through essential spiritual teachings and practices that focuses on the two most important senses, awareness and intuition. These senses are at the core of everything that I teach because they are the keys to truly unlocking your spiritual potential. Explore topics like awareness, intuition, grounding, clearing, psychic abilities, chakras, crystals, past life regression, awakening abundance, and so much more. Each module is thoughtfully crafted to guide you step by step on your sacred path, providing you with the tools and knowledge needed to awaken your spirit, heal old wounds, and grow into your true potential. Where the world talks about manifesting, we focus on awakening abundance. Yes, we use similar steps, but our emphasis on awareness and intuition is what truly makes the difference. This missing link will empower you to tap into the real power of manifesting. With live sessions, guided practices, a supportive community, and the opportunity for personal coaching, you'll experience deep transformation in a nurturing and sacred environment. Don't miss your chance to be part of this powerful experience. Go to sacredlivingacademy.com and join the priority list to be the first to know when we open the doors to Sacred Beginnings. Or simply click the link in the show notes. Your sacred journey awaits. Get ready to step into a new chapter of spiritual growth and empowerment.